It's 10 years in the making. Suzuki hasn't released an ATV in 10 years, it's been a decade. The last thing they made was the LTR 450, and here we are, intro for the KingQuad. As you can see, I'm walking in right now, we're about to do the presentation. How cool is this? I'm excited. We're 4 new machines from Suzuki. Here we go.
You might have heard in the video that there's a couple new colors.
They've revised the machine for this year. This is the same engine design, new styling. For 2019, they've made a few revisions that I kind of got my eye on. You know, not the game changer that I was hoping out of Suzuki. They haven't made a product in 10 years, so I thought they'd come out with something 850 or 1000 maybe. But I do like the KingQuad. It's always handled really well, smooth, good performance, and the best part about the Suzuki is the reliability. So anyway, let's go ride test the 2019 Suzuki KingQuad. Okay, good news, bad news. The good news, the KingQuad, for you loyal KingQuad guys out there, the KingQuad is what it always has been, and it's even better. It's a harder worker, it looks cooler, it's got some great improvements. The bad news, it's not the performer that I was hoping it was going to be. I thought we were going to see an 850cc twin cylinder in an all new chassis, and they were going to redefine the name KingQuad. They've said to have squeezed a little bit more power out of this machine. I didn't really notice it. It's slightly better coming out of the hole maybe, but about the same as what you're used to with this engine. There are other transmission changes. The CVT, they've got the Quadmatic transmission, which is already great. Suzuki's done an awesome job with their transmission system. Some added weights in the clutch system gives you a better towing. It goes from 900 pounds to 1,322 pounds, so it's a workhorse. You can pull some weight with this, very good. The new body work is something that I think you'll like. A little more aggressive looking in the front, and they've done some great jobs with the maintenance level on this quad. You can get it stuff. The oil, you can get the dipsticks right there. The seat comes off very easily. You can grab your air filter. You can get at your fuel filters. Nice differential fluid changes. Maintenance is fantastic. Other new things, each corner gets a 5-way preload adjustable gas charge shock. Much better than the old KingQuad. It is plush and soft like a Cadillac, and because of that I did do some bottoming, but I'm riding it harder than a lot of people do. And most people that buy a KingQuad aren't going to go abuse it like you're seeing we're doing here in some of this video. I ride them hard and try to get a good feel for the machine, and so you're probably not going to go pound trails like I am today, and you probably won't experience some of the little things that I'm experiencing, because it's not really designed to go out and race or ride like we are out here. I'm exaggerating and putting in a lot of hard charging laps in to try to break the machine, to tell you the honest truth. I want to see what happens when we push it to the limits, because we don't have it for years on end. We have it for a day or two. So that's why I tend to ride it a little harder than most. A few other changes to note on the new 2019 KingQuad is a rear stabilizer. Thicker, stronger, better bushings. And I felt the difference with the shocks and the stabilizer combined. It holds the machine down a little bit better than old KingQuads. To keep going on the new improvements, there's a power steering improvement. It's a higher output unit, all new I'm told, supposed to give 30% better feel for the power steering. And the Suzuki KingQuad has always been an easy to steer machine as far as I'm concerned, especially low speed. It dampens itself, so as you get higher speed it's not as soft, of course. I couldn't tell much. They're both good. The old KingQuad already steered light as it was, but I couldn't tell that 30%. It steers just like it should. You've got a better feel on the front brakes. They've done something with the leverage here, so you're really grabbing front brakes. And their hydraulic front disc brakes are nice. I really like the front brakes, and I can feel an improvement. There's also a different material they put on the brake pads, I guess, to make them even stronger. So great front brakes. The rear brake is supposed to have a better leverage on the foot pedal. I didn't like the foot pedal. I didn't use it. It's just you don't get a good feel for how the brake system is working. So I'm grabbing rear with the handle, and the rear brakes are okay. Not as good as I would like. I like a hydraulic disc brake system. This is that sealed multi-plate rear brake system that they put in there, which is, I could see it's good for less maintenance stuff. You just have rear brakes forever and you don't have to do anything back there. So good. As we're talking about brakes, we got a LED rear brake light that's just way better than before. This is a real bright, sharp unit back there. They've added a headlight for this year. They took it off a couple years ago to keep the price low, I suppose. Another new item to talk about is this new display panel. Good thick font. You can look at it, glance down, and see what's going on. New this year is a service reminder based on your mileage or hours. You can set it so that you know it's time to change your oil or whatever you want to do. There's cast aluminum wheels on a few of the models. That's new. You still get the same Carlisle 2-ply, not so good tires. I like to improve on the tires a little bit. They roll, and I don't know if they're going to hold up that long. So they kind of didn't go great on the tire selection. There's also a new 4-liter compartment under the taillight, which is really sharp. The rear end of this machine looks really as good as the front, with all the storage and the way that LED leads down to the compartment. So you've got the additional 4-liter along with the old 4-liter, and then of course up front you got the 2.8-liter here sealed out of the elements. Put your phone in there, whatever you want to keep dry. A lot of storage, plus the racks are fantastic on this machine. They're the scratch resistant metal, not plastic stuff. Good racks with tie down spots. Excellent package for hauling stuff, and you get the nice little outlet here for plugging in whatever you might need to plug in. The frame has been improved. It's not a new chassis. They have a couple main tubes that are thicker and stronger. There's some reinforcement tabs that have been beefed up some. So it's a stronger machine. It's going to work harder, like I say. Nothing major as far as geometry changes, although we're told that they've recalibrated the front end geometry, and I'm not sure what they did. I don't get it, because everything seems to be the same as the old KingQuad. As you can see in some of this video, I didn't go easy, rode it hard, and never had a bump steer issue. I don't believe it should be ridden like this though. If you're going to buy a 4-wheel drive ATV and you want it to trail bash just as much as you want to work in the field, I wouldn't suggest the Suzuki KingQuad. I think you're more of an aggressive rider that should probably step up to a bigger bore 4x4 maybe, or if you want a single cylinder, the Yamaha Grizzly does a great job at swallowing up aggressive terrain like that better than this does. You know, with that recalibrated front end geometry and some of the changes they made, I think I need a couple more riders to go shake this thing down. Okay, had to be done. I'm here at Powerline Park in St. Clairsville, Ohio. It's the GNCC course, and I've found probably two of the most knowledgeable 4x4 ATV guys I know, Ken Robey and his son Doug Robey. Not only knowledgeable, but very good riders. Ken has a couple national championships to his name. Doug just went out and got a podium at the last GNCC in the ATV 4x4 Pro class. So I've got two great riders and two knowledgeable guys that can help me determine what's going on with the Suzuki.
Handles pretty good. The steering The only time I'm having an issue with steering wise is when I'm hitting something. It's wanting to jerk out of my hands a little bit, mainly on puddles or mud, coming up to a big mud hole or something. If I hit with the left wheel versus the right wheel first, it's wanting to twist out of my hands. We race Can-Am Renegades. I personally race an 850. My son races a 1000. We're used to that V-twin power of, you know, when you need it, it's there. I mean, I've ridden for a lot of companies over the years, and I don't feel any difference between the 700 motor and this motor here. I've did the 700, you know, with Arctic Cat over the years. We raced a KingQuad 700 motor in that, and we did 10-hour races, 12-hour races and stuff like that. And this is, I'm not feeling the upgrade.
Like he said, power-wise, it's different. I mean, it's, once it gets wound up, it's there. But I mean, if you hit a mud hole, or when you like get on it in a field, it just kind of bogs itself down, then winds up. It takes a little bit to get there, but I mean, the steering's not too bad. I mean, in the past reviews I've read on the bump steer and stuff like that. It doesn't feel like it's bump steer. It feels like you hit a bump, it kind of wants to straighten the wheel instead of turn it. I don't know if it's just because the suspension's so soft, you get the bouncing a little bit. Because like he said, the back suspension, I bottomed it out a bunch, and just trying to put it to the test without breaking it. I mean, but other than that, going downhill, it's not too bad. I mean, some points it did, like when you get in a real rutted out section, it'll kind of want to grab to one side, but for the everyday guy going out and just cruising with the kids and the family, or the hunter or the farmer, it's a good quad. I mean, it held up to what we did out here with it, and we didn't break anything. So first thing be getting changed with tires, stronger ply. I mean, just in turning, I can feel the sidewall wanting to roll over. I mean, just being me, every day wouldn't change wheels. I would definitely change suspension. I mean, it's really soft. Like, I don't know if we can even stiffen it up to make it not bottom out in the rear end.
For the everyday guy, it's a pretty decent machine, other than just a couple quick little changes. Yeah. I think it'd be fine.
Your opinion, Ken, will we see a Big Four make the kind of machine you want, or is that just not realistic?
I don't know. With Can-Am having what we have, Polaris stepping up with the Scrambler 1000s that everybody's running now, I would love to see Suzuki or Yamaha come out with a 1000. I don't understand, the basis of, quad sales and stuff like that, but it seems like everybody's wanting that. Even your everyday guy. I just had a friend of mine for the first time went out, his first big quad ever, he went and bought a Can-Am Renegade 1000. And this is a guy that just trail rode every day, and he wanted big horsepower, big power and stuff like that. And that's just seems what everybody's stepping to. So will they do it? I don't know if they will. I would love to see it, just like Doug. And I think, manufacturers getting in the game, in the big bore game, competing each other with a V-twin model would be great for it. You're going to sell more machines. You're going to, increase your volume, because that's what people are wanting. Everybody down south is riding in the mud, and they're putting these big tires on. And I'm sorry, but this KingQuad just won't turn them. It's not going to appeal to people like that down in Texas, Louisiana, that I see on all these websites that are doing these types of things, because it doesn't have what they want. This quad is made for a rancher. This quad is made for your everyday farmer that's throwing some tools on the back, this and that, and it's for your hunter. Throwing his bows, his equipment on, he's going out to his stand and stuff like that. As far as performance, a true performance machine, this is more of a true utility machine, more than performance.
You could do a lot more with it if you had the motor to do it.
Instead of just being a utility, they're a sport utility, and they're performance enhanced with all the utility packages that go along with them. So you got we've raced the Outlanders, the Renegades, and everything, and all these come with rack accessible options, and then you take that off and you turn it into a performance machine. you know, and that's what we're hoping for, that someone else gets in the game to bring us something like that, that we can with simple modifications can take it to the next level, from utility to performance, to where it can go and can compete. And you know, that's what we're hoping for, that would happen this time, and obviously it didn't happen, but you know, we'll see what the future holds, and hopefully Yamaha or Suzuki will jump into that game that we're into, you know, with Can-Am and Polaris and everybody, and you know, we'll see them out there.
Pros and cons. Pros, it looks really cool. The new KingQuad looks really sharp. Another pro, it's better. It's all around better. That's a pro. It tows more, it's more dependable, it looks better, it's gonna last longer, it works harder than it ever has. That's a pro. Another pro, dashboard. The dashboard's outstanding. Another pro is the maintenance on this machine. You're able to get to everything. Another pro, it's got plenty of storage. The new unit has a lot of nice storage areas. The con for me is it's not new from the ground up. Why Suzuki thought after 10 years they could just patch up some of the stuff, I don't get it. I thought of all machines of all time, Suzuki has one product, the KingQuad. I thought for sure we were going to see a completely new from the ground up KingQuad, and we didn't. Another con is the tires. You don't have 4 good tires that you can depend on. You say you want to take this machine to West Virginia on the Hatfield-McCoy Trail System for a week, an adventure ride. You might get a flat, and you might have to deal with that, because there's 2-ply wimpy Carlisle tires. Suspension, I'm going to call it a pro. It is better, but I did bottom. You can fiddle with the 5-way adjustable shocks and get them a little stiffer maybe if you're riding hard. But thankfully, each corner gets gas-charged shocks at least, and that's nice. It is a plush Cadillac ride that is very well done, especially if you're a low-speed guy that just likes to cruise. You're going to love the KingQuad. Another pro is Suzuki's differential system. Very well done. You don't have to look. You can click that thing, 4-wheel drive, in and out of 4-wheel drive with a click of the button at speed. Anytime you need all 4 tires digging, it's just one click up, and you've got your diff lock on. This is a very well thought out system here. Another pro is the lighting system. You can have your lights bright, and it'll tell you on the dashboard. Bright lights are on, or your brights are on with that high beam. It's kind of nice. And you can turn off the headlight here. If you've got a bag or something in the front, you don't want you blinding yourself, you can turn it off and still maintain your lights up there. That's well done. They could have just put a switch on and always had lights. They thought it out right. Call it a pro. Another pro is the Quadmatic transmission system on the KingQuad with the gated shifter. Very well done. It's something that's going to last a long time, and Suzuki's outstanding with their transmissions. Another pro I like is the motocross style foot pegs. And the whole system here, they've got grip on the whole plastic where you're stepping on the machine, you're never going to slip. Very well done. And hey, while I'm talking about traction, this isn't a commercial or anything. These are my new gear I got. I'm a minimalist. I don't spend a bunch of money on new gear. I kind of wanted to just run the same gear I've always had, but it was time. I ordered a set of Fly racing gear, and I love the stuff enough to tell you about it. Their new Fly gear that I'm wearing today is their Patriot XC stuff. Pockets for your phone, and you can zippable pockets. I'm especially impressed with Fly's over the ankle, I guess you'd call it a motocross boot, but it really isn't a motocross boot. It just has the same motocross style where you've got the 3 hooks instead of the 4. But it's something you can wear all day without getting feeling like you got big heavy motocross boots on, because they're small, lightweight, and they've got traction on the bottom. I love that I'm not slipping and sliding once time to get off the machine and walk around. I got the new Fly helmet too, carbon fiber, really light, feels great. So it makes you want to go out and ride when you got a good set of gear. Gone a while with the same old stuff, and thought I'd tell you about my Fly gear. And I'll leave a link in the description just for the hell of it. You can go click on it and learn more about this exact set of gear I have today. I'm not trying to be a model, but I think you'll check it out. It's really sharp stuff.